Hello everyone, Mike here, and in today's video I want to talk about how you can use ChatGPT to improve your guitar tone. So specifically what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about how you can use ChatGPT to dial in tones. I'm going to be using Amplitude 5 for this purpose. You can easily apply this to a rail amp. So what we'll do is we'll dial in 5 varying tones. We'll try a Gilmour style tone, an SRV style tone, a Hendrix style tone, a Mark Knopfler tone, and I just need one more guitarist who has an iconic tone. There's too many to choose from. And what we'll try is Clapton's Woman tone. This is the prompt that I give ChatGPT. Please help me dial in a David Gilmour style tone in Amplitude 5. Advise on tone control, pickup selection on my American Stratocaster, and do a detailed rig rundown in Amplitude 5. And this was the first response. Gilmour's tone is a holy grail for many guitarists. Lush, expressive, creamy with clarity. Here's how to dial it in step by step. So the pickup selection tips, that's what it starts with. It says, Gilmour mostly used his black Strat, a heavily modified Fender Strat. So on Dave Gilmour's guitar he had a mini toggle that allowed bridge plus neck pickup in parallel, which is a telly style tone. I have no idea how the black Strat works, so I'd have to double check if that's actually true. You can mimic this by blending bridge and neck with an external mod, or just experiment using neck and middle when you want rounded tones. For your American Strat, use the bridge pickup for Gilmour's comfortably numb solos. For rounder ambient tones, use neck or middle. For the tone knob, roll it off just a little, around 6 to 7 to 10 harsh highs. Volume, keep it full, and control dynamics with your picking. So it actually gives advice on how to play as well, rather than just how to dial in the tones. So Amplitude 5 rig rundown. So let's build a classic comfortably numb / shine on you crazy diamond style tone. Okay, take issue with that because those tones are completely different. So like shine on you crazy diamond is quite a clean tone. Comfortably numb is definitely not a clean tone, unless you count the first solo of course. So amp model, it says use the Hiwatt DR103 equivalent. In Amplitude it's usually called British Tube Lead 100. It's actually, I believe it's called something like High amp. Yeah, it's this amp here. I'm pretty sure that is a Hiwatt. I mean, it's got to be right, and if not, well, who cares. Bass 4, middle 5, treble 6, presence 4, master volume 6, effects chain, very important. It feels the need to stress, and I would say rightfully so, because it is. So before the amp it says have a compressor. Gilmour loves sustain, and I think that is actually true. I think he did use a compressor before all of his other effects. Overdrive, use Tube Screamer or Distortion Plus. Buzz here, optional for heavier leads. Use the Big Pig, which is the Big Muff clone in Amplitude, and we are definitely going to use that. After the amp, you've got the option for chorus, delay, which it says is absolutely essential. Use a tape echo or digital delay. And reverb, go lush but subtle. Use a plate reverb or a hall. Optional gear you could use, it suggests a wah pedal, a Leslie or rotary speaker. That would actually be quite cool, but we're not going to do that. And a univibe, which is basically an emulation in pedal form, or at least very similar idea to the previous suggestion. Here it is. I took the liberty of already dialing this in, so this is what this one sounds like. So I would definitely have to mess around with this a bit more before saving it as a preset, but overall I think it's pretty damn good. Okay, so next I asked it to do an SRV style tone. It goes, let's get you channeling that raw Texas fire. SRV's tone was fat, aggressive, dynamic and dripping with blues soul. We'll dial it in with your American Strat and Amplitude 5 step by step. So for pickup selection it says SRV used a heavy strung beat up Strat with Texas specials and usually played in E flat tuning. We can actually do that because my main Strat is in E flat, but my strings are much lighter So for the pickup positions, it says the neck pickup is the SRV sweet spot. Almost all his iconic turns are from the neck. And turn 6 to 8. Too much brightness, it'll be too harsh. Back it off for just enough warmth. Before we dive into Amplitude, please keep in mind it's talking about the strings again. SRV's turn is in the hands, hard picking, thick strings, and it highlights here, he says, apparently he used 13s. I have 9s on my guitar, so we're not going to be able to emulate that at all. And I'm definitely not putting 13s on my guitar. Anyway, Amplitude 5 rig rundown. So it says, use a Fender Vibroverb style amp. SRV loved his Dumble modded Vibroverbs and Super Reverbs. And it says use the bright channel if there is a setting for it on the amp you choose. Volume 6 to 7, bass 6, mid 7, treble 5. Reverb off, use external if needed. Presence 5 to 6, master volume 6 to 8. Effects chain, it just says use a compressor, low sustain, a tube screamer, which it says is essential. That's obviously over screaming amplitude. Drive 2 to 3, just enough to push the amp. Turn 4 to 5, don't get too bright. And it says, I don't know how true this is, but it could be true, who knows. SRV used the tube screamer as a clean boost for more than a distortion pedal. After the amp it says reverb, use spring reverb with a mix of about 15 to 20%, medium decay, keep it subtle. It's not a dreamy tone we're going for, we're just trying to give it some space. And this is the patch that we made, this is what it looks like. Got compressor, spring reverb before the amp, this American Vintage B, and got some more spring reverb there for some reason. I actually don't know why I used 2, but whatever. So this is what this one sounds like. So I don't think that one was all that close personally, and I think it's due to the fact that SRV's turn is almost all in the hands. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Okay, moving on, this might be another tough one that I'm not sure it'll quite capture, but I asked for a Hendrix style turn, and this is what it said. By the way, for each one I've just used the same prompt pretty much. Here we go. It says Hendrix used a right-handed strat strung for left hand. Obviously we're not going to do that. Pickup positions, it says use the neck pickup for stuff like Little Wing, and then use the bridge pickup for sharper tones like parts of Purple Haze or Foxy Lady. Use neck and middle for more bell-like swirly cleans like on Castles Made of Sand. For turn and volume it says keep the volume full, but keep in mind that Hendrix rode the volume constantly. Learn to dial back volume for cleanup. For the turn, use the neck, roll back slightly, 5 to 7 to 10 brightness. Bridge often full open. For the amp, this is where the magic happens. Jimmy's core chain was Strat, Buzz, Wah, Univibe, Marshall, 4x12 cap. And that sounds accurate to me. So amp, it says use Marshall Plexi, JTM45, whatever, one of those. Go high gain, 7 to 8, bass 4, mid 6, treble 6 or 7, presence 6, if applicable I guess. And before the amp it says use a fuzz face clone. In brackets it says this is essential. Use your guitar volume to control cleanup, use a wah pedal. I'm not going to bother with that. And it also suggests you use an Octavia pedal, which is an optional. Then after the amp it suggests a Univibe pedal, delay, slapback it actually specifically says, and reverb. It suggests a spring reverb with the mix at 15%. And let's have a look what this looks like. We've got this Marshall style amp. We do have the octave pedal as an option, but it's off at the moment. Got this fuzz pedal, and I've got a Univibe there, and this delay pedal, and then spring reverb. So let's see what this one sounds like. Okay, moving on, I asked for a Mark Knopfler style turn. I didn't specify any specific turn, I just said Mark Knopfler. That could cover quite a few different styles of turn, but I think it's pretty obvious the one it's going to go for, which will be that very clean turn that Knopfler is known for. So it says, nice choice, thank you. Let's go for that warm, clean, expressive fingerpicked turn that Knopfler is known for, especially from earlier Dire Straits stuff and iconic tracks like Sultans of Swing, Brothers in Arms, Romeo and Juliet, etc. Pretty sure that's an acoustic guitar song, but whatever. So it says Knopfler's tone is all about touch, dynamics, clarity, and mid-focused amps. So it says Knopfler used a Stratocaster and a Gibson style guitar later on, but the Sultan's era Strat tone is the classic tone. It says the best pickup position is either position 2, which is bridge plus middle, which is the pickup position I would typically use. So these in-between positions are what give the tone that glassy, plucky twang with warmth. I think that's 100% correct. So for tone controls it says keep the volume up for clarity and dynamics, Mark uses fingerpicking to manage dynamics, and turn knob, bridge around 6 to 7, middle, full or slightly rolled back, and neck 6 to 8 if using for softer parts, or smoother parts it says. Then it gets to the rig rundown. It suggests a Fender Vibrolux or twin reverb style amp, British clean or British 30 watt Vox style amps for a little more mids and breakup. Amp settings it suggests 4 to 5 on the gain, 4 on the bass, 6 to 7 on the mids, 5 on the treble, presence 5 if it's applicable. For the effects chain it says before the amp use a compressor, use light compression to make the fingerpicking consistent, no overdrive. After the amp it suggests you can use subtle chorus, optional is delay, and for the reverb, plate or spring with a mix of 20% and a medium decay. So a quick look at what's going on. So we've dialed that preset in here in Amplitube. It's quite a simple one, and let's see what it sounds like. I think that is probably my favourite one so far, next to the Gilmore one. It's pretty damn accurate. I'd be quite happy to say that that's a preset, and in fact I have. Okay, and the last turn that I asked ChatGPT to dial in was the woman turn. The woman turn is something that was pioneered by Eric Clapton. It's very much associated with the early Cream era. So, it says, Clapton used the neck humbucker with the turn rolled off to smooth out the highs. We'll mimic this with your Strat's neck pickup and EQ. Neck pickup only, position 5, roll the turn down to 2 or 3. This simulates the woman turn's muffled top end, then it gets straight to the rig rundown. So what it says, we're going for Sunshine of Your Love, SWLABR and Crossroads Live turn. It suggests the British Tube Lead 100 or any vintage Marshall style amp in Amplitube. Quite high gain, bass 6, mid 8, treble 2 to 3, so again we're cutting the highs. Presence 2 to 3 and master 6. Before the amp it's saying overdrive, you could use overscream or distortion plus with medium drive, low turn and level 6 plus. And then after the amp it's suggesting spring or room reverb with 15% in the mix and short medium decay, and EQ afterwards, which is optional. We could boost 800 to 1k, which it says adds vocal R quality to it. Cut 4 to 5k to 10 fizz, and roll off under 80Hz if muddy. So I've got it dialed in here in Amplitube. Very simple one again. Yeah, let's test it out. So that one I really liked as well, and I think I'll definitely be keeping that preset. It sounds pretty damn close. I think using AI like this, using it to your advantage, is a good thing. It's why I don't personally dislike AI. I know it's a bit of a contentious thing, especially among musicians at the moment. Some people are dead against it. I think that's a bit silly, to be honest. Anytime something big like this comes out, like it was the internet before, people get a bit panicked and carried away and they think it's going to be the end of the world or whatever. What actually does happen is things just change, and we adapt and we move on and we integrate these things into our workflow. This is like a very minor case use of how you can use AI as well. I personally use AI for quite a lot of things, and I use it to my advantage as a musician rather than fear it. Because why fear it? It's new technology, it's around to stay, it's not going anywhere. This was just a fun experiment to see if I could dial in some turns completely blind and see if it was actually somewhat close to what you'd expect to get. I think most of those sounded pretty good. Some of them sounded a bit questionable, but I think they were quite difficult tasks. The SRV and Hendrix style turn in particular, I think they were difficult. Let me know if you have used AI like this at all, if it's even occurred to you to try, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.